Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to take the time to run through exactly why we're investing in Bulgaria. I know that a lot of you have been asking questions and wondering why we're doing this. I'm due to release the content in the coming weeks, the first episode of the Bulgaria project, so that'll be super exciting and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. I know this will probably prompt a lot of questions, so what I thought I would do before releasing that is almost do a pre-series Q&A to cover some of the more high-level questions. And then as the series progresses, if more and more questions come out, we'll either do Q&A videos in between the episodes or we'll do a big Q&A episode at the end of the series. So I hope that makes sense. Let's go. So to start with, briefly, for those of you that are new to the channel, my name's Courtney Jones. I focus mainly on personal finance on this channel and how to improve your own personal finance because it's something that I'm super passionate about and I don't believe that it's talked about enough. Part of that for me is looking at investing and how I can invest either differently to what a lot of other people do to enhance my own personal finance situation. And alongside that, or with that, comes the investment overseas in Europe. So that is why I've started to record and document that process, and it's also why I'm doing this video now. So let's jump in. I have written these down just so I remember them whilst recording this video. So number one is family and Bulgarian heritage. So without getting too much into my personal life, my partner is from Bulgaria. So we're looking to invest over there so that we have a base location to be able to spend time with friends and family and kind of intermix and mingle the two families together. We think this will be a really nice space where my family and my friends can come over and visit and we can have everyone staying together at the house when we're there. And I just feel like it will be a really nice space to be able to do this and help us have that flexibility and freedom to be able to spend time with both sides of the family in a really nice environment. Point two is that I've always wanted to build my own house and my partner, she's always wanted to do this as well. So it's a really weird scenario where I think we both had this kind of childhood dream. Myself watching Grand Designs when I was in my teen years, Kevin MacLeod and all these people building massive houses and things like this. I don't think it's feasible to do this in the UK on the average salary. And I know if you've watched on my previous videos, I'm not saying I'm on the average salary, so please don't take that as I know I'm in a very fortunate position. But even at that, and even on that fortunate position, without having huge amounts of wealth inherited, which I don't, we've had to save all of our money to put into this project. And for what we've wanted to build, we wouldn't be able to do that in the UK. Nor, to be honest, would we probably want to do it in the UK. I don't think the house and the kind of style that we've gone for would maybe work necessarily in the UK. So that's number two in terms of the reason why we've looked to invest overseas, is that to do what we wanted to do, it would not be financially feasible to do it here. And then moving on to point three, and this kind of aligns into point two, which is we wanted to diversify our investments outside of the UK. We both have UK pensions, we've got the UK house, everything's UK geared. And just looking at the world around us now, there's growing uncertainty in the economy. We just don't, no one has a crystal ball, right? Like we can sit there and say that the UK is going downhill or the UK will be absolutely great, but no one knows, and we don't know. And for us, we're in a position, fortunately enough, where we can put money elsewhere. And while we're in a financial position to do so, we thought it would be a prudent step and a wise step to do that. So we have a base that is in a different country with different economic policies, and should the worst case happen, we've kind of almost got our fortress of solitude, if you can call it that. So it's just, you know, another lens to look down. We might want to rent it out at a future point in time to bring us some more income, who knows, but why not invest now in something that hopefully should be long-standing and hopefully should hold its value. like I said, all of these things, regardless of what people say on the internet, no one really knows. So we just felt like investing overseas was a wise step to make at this point in our lives. And that then leads into point number 4, which is the long-term plan for our lives. And this is always it's never a nice thing to think about, but it's something that will happen to us all inevitably. And actually, if you're very fortunate, you will get to a good age in retirement. But what do we want our long-term life to look like? Do I want to have, or do we want to have, the standard work for 35, 40 years, retire at this point, probably 70 in the UK, let's be real, and then just live out the rest of your days in a country where council tax is nearly 2-3 grand a year, water bills are nearly £600-700 a year, and that's now, right? Like, who knows what that cost will be going forward. I mentioned on one of my shorts that the property in Bulgaria, we've just paid a year's council tax there, and it was the equivalent of £35, and honestly, you get all of the same services. So don't get me wrong, we don't know where the economy will be in Bulgaria in 35 years. We don't know where the economy in the UK will be in 35 years, but the reality is, unless there is drastic change in the UK, it's only going to get more expensive or stay the same, which is very unlikely. So do we want to be stuck in a place where a lot of our income will just be eaten up by bills? No. That's not to say we won't stay here, but again, it kind of links back to that point 2 and point 3. Just having options in our life is what we want to build out. Having assets that are there available to us to utilize is what we want to do. And I've started this channel with an aim to document my journey to financial freedom and financial independence. It doesn't necessarily mean that I want to retire early, but I don't want to feel like I have to work until I'm 70. That feeling of, and it's the feeling I have now, everyone has it, right? You have a mortgage, you have to go to work. It doesn't mean I don't want to go to work, but I don't like feeling that I have to. It's really hard to make that make sense, but I think in my mind that once all of my debts are cleared, I've got assets in a decent number of places, working will become a more enjoyable experience because I'm choosing to do it, and the money that I earn from work I can use for things I want to do rather than things I have to spend on, like bills, all the points I've listed, council tax, etc., etc., etc. So this house for us is a stepping stone to get to that period in our lives. And I don't know if it will work. It's just something that I've thought about and we've thought about, we've mapped out over many years of what are the things that are going to give us more control and freedom financially in our lives. And property, houses always seem to be the answer. Look at the world right now. Donald Trump has announced his tariffs and the value of pensions has absolutely fallen off a cliff. Now, in the short term, this is quite bad. Long-term stocks do tend to have these dips and then they trend upwards. But again, no one can look backwards and go, this is exactly what's going to happen going forwards. We just don't know. And I think that when I'm at a point where I want to retire, do I want all of my money tied up in a pension that could fall off a cliff in that year that I want to retire? Absolutely not. I want to be able to go, well, yeah, it's a big hit, but I've got a house here, a house there. We are financially secure. We don't need to worry too much about income. I can pick up some contracts and work if I need to. You kind of get the idea, right? So that is point 4, is that long term, we're just trying to build up our asset base now so that we have that security over the long term going forwards. And that's really it. Those are my 4 key points. I don't want to get too political, as I've always mentioned on this show, so I won't badmouth the UK too much. I know I probably have bagged on it a little bit in that video. And don't get me wrong, Bulgaria has its share of problems, everywhere does. But for us, when we look at the wide landscape, Bulgaria, for me, just feels like a more free country. So that's really it. Those are the main points as to why we're investing overseas. I'm really looking forward to sharing the first video with you. Hopefully it will be out either next week or the week after. I think we're looking to release it, so that'll be super exciting for you to see the first stage of the Europe House project. If you've got any other questions, please do drop them down in the comments below and I will collate them all. And like I said, maybe do a Q&A in a month or so once some of the other videos are released. But for now, thank you all so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.